Hi, I'm Rob, and today I'm going to be doing a short video on how to do the infected areas on the Pox Walkers from the new Warhammer 40,000 Dark Imperium box set. Okay, so the area that I'm going to be working on is this area here, and that's because you've got a nice area of flat skin here going onto the bit that's all Nurgled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of Nurgle green. I'm going to go around the area that's looking all infected and sore there. Add a little bit of that to there, just so it gives it that green tinge that Nurgle is so famous for. You can probably tell that this is a very old brush, and it's a brush that I use for just the kind of generally stippling or applying your paint to it in a way that doesn't get in all the creases and stuff like that, but it doesn't really matter too much if it brings the bristles. Now that that's dry, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Vallejo Red Shade, and around the pustules and stuff like that, I'm just going to give it a bit of a layer of that, and that gives it that kind of tender, sore look of swollen skin where it's inflamed and infected. So I'm just going to put a layer of that around it, and then we'll crack on from there. Right, with the wash now dry, all we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of colour to the pustules that are on there. So we've got like the big one here, and then we've got lots of little ones. So what I'm going to do for the big one is I'm going to make that look a bit more like a blister kind of thing, and for that I've mixed a bit of Vallejo flat yellow and Vallejo white, and I'm just going to put that over the top there and give it that nice kind of light blister colour. You can see I've changed brush, now using the Army Painter character brush, which is the one I'm trying out at the moment. It seems to be working pretty well. Right, now I've also mixed a little bit of it's Vallejo lime green, and I've mixed that with a little bit of white as well, just to give it, take the edge off it, because it is a very vivid colour. I'm going to do some of the smaller ones with that, just so it's got like looks like a little bit of different infection on different ones. Because the one thing that I'm a bit unsure about with Games Workshop's method of painting them is they're very, very clean, and I want to make my Nurgle cultist type fellas, the Pox Walkers, make them look as horrific as possible, because they're all infected and inflamed, and I think they should look a little bit dirty than they do. So that's what I'm going to try and go for today. Do that there, and then you've got one more blister just underneath that maggot there. Now for the maggot, I'm going to use just a bit of it's the Ushabti bone and the Citadel colour. I'm going to just give that a quick going over there. And then I'm going to add a little bit more white to the yellow. That should just give us a nice little top off to that there. Add a little bit more white to the green. Okay, so you got that looking pretty hideous now. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of Reikland Flesh Shade on the Maggot, and that should bring out the stripes on it, where it's got the sort of the sections to its body. That would be the best brush to put this on, to be honest. There you go. I'll just have to leave that to dry for a bit. So anyway, we've got, see this pock mark here? It looks like one of them's erupted. So what I'm going to use for that is I'm going to use the Blood for the Blood God, which is one of the technical paints from Games Workshop, and that can just give us a nice little shiny trickle of blood oozing out of that wound. So I'll do that running down. Just decided a little bit too much on the brush there. Okay, yeah, now that we've got the Reikland Flesh Shade is dry, we can add a little bit more of the Ushabti bone to the Maggot. And then this area around here where the green joins onto the flesh colour, probably should have done it earlier, but it's not a worry, we can do that now. And that is just to blend in a little bit of the green with a little bit of the flesh. That should just stop it being so quite so blatant, the join between the two. So I'm just going to pick out a few highlights on the Maggot just to bring out the detail on that a little bit more. And it's just going to be at the very tip of these raised sections of it, like so. And I think a little tiny bit more of the Blood for the Blood God paint just actually inside that wound there, just to make it look a bit more manky inside. The one thing I am going to play about with as well is mixing a little bit of white and yellow to the Blood for the Blood God, just to see whether I can make that look like it's got a bit of pus and a bit of blood mixed in together running down there. So you can see that looks pretty decent there coming out the back of it. And I think all I'm going to do for the rest of that is use a bit more of the red shade and make that look a little bit more inflamed. Another thing I'm going to be playing about with these is checking to see whether a bit of purple wash would, you know, make it look a bit more infected around these areas. There's a little bit too much on there, so you can just drain that off with your paintbrush. It just brings pale skin colour back out again. Right, and there you have how I'll be doing my wounds on that. Now what you can do if you want to is pick out a little bit more of the skin at the top there. Just here, I think I went a bit over the top with the red, so you can just pick that out again, like so. Maybe a little bit around there as well. There you go. And that is a nice infected wound. Hope you've enjoyed the video. All the stuff that I've used in the video is going to be linked below. Please, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out a lot. Thanks for watching.